Players have collected millions of melons, cookies and even eggs, but nobody has ever collected a significant amount of dead bushes. Until now. Dead bushes are one of the most neglected blocks in the entire game, and I want to do them justice by collecting 100,000 of them in just 100 Minecraft days. I spawned in a forest on top of a tree, which I immediately chopped down and built a pillar to mark the world spawn point. From there I saw a village nearby. Right below my feet was a massive open cave where I could potentially find some exposed iron. But when I started exploring the entrance, I just got attacked by a couple of zombies. Oh come on, more zombies? That is why I made my way to the village, and there I discovered the first real food. Wait, a pink sheep? And as usual, I harvested the hay bales. As all the villagers were gathered here at the town square, I decided to build a protective stronghold for them. While the villagers were sleeping, I was busy gathering resources from all around the village. When the sun came up, the first Fletcher was employed, and I began trading for emeralds with him. To get even more emeralds, I deforested a large chunk of the nearby forest. When the night came, I went exploring the large cave system I found at the edge of the village. From there I got 21 iron and, most importantly, a lava bucket. The next day most of the iron got traded to the toolsmiths, but that day I also started working on an iron farm. Oh, hello there. Ooh, you have gunpowder. You actually have gunpowder. That is great. I will need to store you somehow. I completed the annoying task of getting the villagers into the farm by dawn of day 4. At the night, the zombie was transported into the farm. While finishing the farm, an annoying phantom spawned and started attacking me, so I had to jump into the bed and reset their spawn timer, and the iron golem took care of the rest. The entire next day was spent making this iron farm completely automatic. But in all of those years of playing Skyblock, I have completely forgotten to spawn-proof the area around the iron farm, which I now had to fix. By this point in the run, I should already have about 6,000 dead bushes, but I have none, which meant that I will need to leave my base soon. And to do that, an armorer was employed, and I started leveling him up. Luckily, the trees I have planted earlier have already grown up and were ready to be harvested again. On dawn of day 7 I could see the first few diamond pieces being sold, but they were still quite expensive. The entire day 7 was spent on grinding for more emeralds to be able to afford the diamond armor. On day 8 I finally had enough emeralds to purchase it. I still needed a lot more iron, and to speed things up I explored the big cave system near to the village further. By the end of day 9 I have gathered everything I needed. The 240 iron ingots I collected are about 1/4 of all the ingots I will need, and we were ready to move on to the next step. On the morning of day 10 I left my valley for the very first time. I needed to catch up with my dead bush collection, and that won't happen unless I find one of these 3 biomes. Whoa, I can see a woodland mansion. Guys, look at that, our first dead bush. On the road I kept finding villages, and I made sure to pick up as many hay bales as I could. Guys, look at that, diamonds. Wait a second, another village. The villages just kept appearing left and right, and soon I lost count of them. I have traveled 5,000 blocks north from spawn, and as I haven't found any badlands yet, I decided to turn back. On the way back I started collecting wool from all the sheeps I encountered. Alright, now that we are back, I moved 2 villagers to the spawn chunks, so they would always be loaded. Then I removed another chunk of this forest and used the resources to create an even bigger space for the villagers. From all the wood I gathered, I managed to craft and place about 43 beds. Crops will not grow here while I'm exploring the world, so I crafted 11 stacks of bread and gave it to them. Soon they accepted my gift and they started breeding. The villagers now needed time to do their thing, so once again I prepared for the departure by crafting a new diamond axe and by grabbing 350 iron. The journey took me to northeast direction and once again I stumbled into a village right away. Well, that is an interesting place to build a house. There is jungle everywhere and this will slow us down, definitely. I think that tower over there is Badlands. And we also have a desert nearby. Nice! Look at that! Both of the biomes that I was searching for, right here. Look at that, so many dead bushes. At the night, the mobs really started disrupting my dead bush collection rhythm. Eventually, the sun came up and the mobs weren't a problem for another 10 minutes. On day 16 I wanted to see if this challenge was even possible. Each day I would need to collect about 1000 dead bushes and I'm far behind the schedule now, so I definitely need to catch up. As per usual I was slower at night, but I still managed to collect 1200 dead bushes that day. By the way, I'm collecting the dead bushes by shears as they can't be collected by hand. And mining is sadly the only way to gather this item. Look at that, we have found a part of a mine shaft. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, golden apple and some more iron. I will take that, thank you. The mine shafts were quite dangerous as I kept falling into the sand traps. Sleeping through the nights wasn't an option as this challenge would be completely impossible. Because of that I soon faced situations like this. 4 of you? Seriously? The grind continued over the following days. Now I have gathered 10% of all the dead bushes I needed. Guys, we have a bit of a crowd here, so I suggest that we get rid of them. Have a bit of a... On day 25 I started running out of food. Luckily there was a village nearby to restock my bread supply. And close by there was another one. As I only had 9 hay bales, I had to visit yet another village. The next day I broke my personal record as I have collected almost 1300 bushes that day. As food wasn't an issue anymore, something else had to be. And of course my armor started breaking, which caused more and more problems with the hostile mobs. The last remaining batch of dead bushes in these badlands was on top of this middle island, which I cleared on the morning of day 31. With this I have cleared the majority of the dead bushes in these badlands. The ones left were mostly on the cliff walls. Now yes, I could also harvest the dead bushes in the deserts as well, but this is way too slow, so I headed back to my valley. On the way back I collected a buried treasure in the sunken boat thingy and nearly drowned myself. Observed some nice world generation and explored another shipwreck. As I was getting closer to my valley, I began to wonder how many villagers would I find in the breeder. This villager breeder didn't quite work, so where are my stacks of bread then? This was a problem. You see, my plan was to use the villagers to construct a hostile mob switch. This way I could collect dead bushes even faster during the nights as I wouldn't have to fight those mobs. But as this didn't work, I needed to grind enough emeralds for a new diamond armor set. As I now had 287 iron ingots, I was finally ready to leave my home once again. At the noon of day 33 I started traveling east. The journey took me through the birch mountains, villages and ruined portals. Oh wow, nice. A couple of villages later I ended my journey to the east with a bit of boat drifting on ice. Whee! Ooh, this is fast. Oh no. Sadly, I didn't find badlands in this direction, so it was time to go back. After rowing almost the entire way back to spawn and picking up the iron from the iron farm, I departed to the southeast direction. Oh wow, this one isn't even that sunken. I mean, it's a bit underwater, but mostly fine. After discovering ice spikes and a village... Guys, badlands! We have found them! Now I need to try my best or this challenge will be impossible. Over the following days I kept farming more and more dead bushes each day and got to about 1400 dead bushes in a single day. Once I was in the zone, my mind started to wander. I can think of at least 3 ways to make the dead bushes renewable, but one of them requires a mod, while the other 2 would take about 300 days minimum to execute. In the back of my mind was still the question why the villager breeder at spawn is not working even though it should. I ran out of badlands, and even after searching through the entire nearby desert... What is this? Wait a second, what? Wait, what? What is this? Oh, it's a ruined portal. Oh, we found a desert temple. I didn't find any, and so I started going back to spawn. With the TNT I gathered some extra wood, and of course I made sure to pick up the hay bales from the villages as well. Alright, now that we are back home, I expanded the villager breeder, gave them fields to cultivate and a few workstations. And of course 34 more beds. I even gave them a few more stacks of bread. There wasn't anything more I could think of to make them breed in the spawn chunks. So I departed once again, this time to the south. Yes, those appear to be badlands, so let's go there. Did you know that in the past versions of the game, a block almost identical to dead bushes existed, called shrubs? And they could only exist on grass blocks. I continued collecting dead bushes for the next few days and gathered some very useful loot in the process. As I have cleared the current batch of the badlands, I began searching for a new area in the desert. Oh wow, look at that, saddle and an armor, and 2 diamonds. By the end of the day, I have already located another badlands biome. At the time I had no idea how massive this badlands truly was. I started my usual routine by collecting dead bushes, doing even more of that, fixing my armor, finding unexpected loot, oh, another apple, and using the villagers' houses as a fortress in the never-ending battle against hostile mobs. Out of all the Badlands biomes, I dislike the forest variant the most, as you're constantly bumping into trees. Guys, as you can see, this video was quite a torture to film, so please consider pressing that subscribe button, it would really mean a lot to me. Where did you come from? The nearest village is like a kilometer away. Things started to get quite repetitive. I lost the track of time and I had no idea at which day I entered these massive badlands. On the other side, it's great that I didn't have to worry about running out of badlands just yet. On day 64 I collected half of the dead bushes, only 50,000 to go. It seemed like the game increased the difficulty as I was being chased by hordes of zombies. Eventually I saw the edge of the badlands, but there was still a lot more work to be done. Yo, tridents. Oh no. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Oh, guys, look at that, he made an entire collection over there. Oh, and now he's on land, let's go. I left the dead bushes on this island behind, as it simply wasn't worth the risk collecting them. Instead, I focused on the few remaining spots in this giant badlands biome. Okay, and those were the final, almost final dead bushes in this mesa complex here, so now it's finally time to head back home. As I was preparing to go home, I noticed that I have actually gone off track a bit. So I decided to explore the southwest direction for additional badlands first. I found some flint in the ruined portal and hay bales from the villages. Whoa, wait, what? Why are there so many dogs here? Oh, I can see my breeder. Actually, let's check it out. Oh wow, you were definitely busy. Look at them. This was a true game changer. First, I removed every bed and composter from the breeder as they won't be needing them anymore. Then I collected every gravel I could find at my lake and converted it into flint using fletchers. No, not now. Why? I just hope that all my stuff is there. Okay, it is. All this time I have survived every single night trying to collect as many dead bushes as I could. My armor broke too many times, which led to dangerous situations. But I survived all of that, and then it happened right here, at my home base, by a simple creeper explosion. Luckily, this world is not in hardcore, so I get my chance for revenge as well as trying to finish this challenge. First, I divided up the villagers in the breeder into smaller groups. I needed to make one trade with every single villager. By the end of the day I managed to trade with 42 different villagers. Some of the trades were buy only, so I waited to get better offers. I decided to get more wood as I would need it anyways. The next day was chaotic to say the least. I had no idea from which villagers I have bought things before and from which I haven't. Some villagers just didn't want to buy sticks, so I gave them the emeralds for the arrows instead. Every time they decided to restock their supplies, it created this super annoying and loud sound. At the night, I transported an additional 5 villagers from my village to this complex. Where did you come from? The next day was spent catching the escaped villagers, as well as convincing the rest to start trading with me. But this one was another breed, as nothing convinced him to pick up this profession. Now I had 68 villagers. The inner walls were removed, 2 zombies were captured, and the roof was constructed. Scratch that, we actually need some walls. Alright, you might be wondering why I just did all of this, and the answer is pretty simple, we just need to wait for the night time. You see, Minecraft only spawns 70 hostile mobs per player into your world. Do you see any hostile mobs? If not, my machine is working. But now that 68 of them are zombie villagers trapped in the spawn chunks, this means that only 2 hostile mobs will exist at once. What happened here? No, but actually what? Wait a second, is my thing not working? Besides that anomaly, the machine worked, and this allowed us to start exploring the west direction. Guys, Badlands, we found them. I crafted the shears and went right into work. The mob switch worked, and I only got 1 husk in the entire night. To keep things interesting, I won't show you the dead bush counter anymore, and even I won't be looking at it till day 100. I found several small Badlands patches, but by the end of the next day I found what I was truly looking for. That's quite enormous. It became obvious that I have struck gold with going to the west direction. The Badlands just didn't end, and it looked like I had enough to last me all the way to the end of this challenge. A group of pillagers led me to this pillager outpost. I found 2 allays, freed them, and gave them the most reasonable item they could collect. Dead bushes, of course. They were super helpful as well, as I often left a few harvested dead bushes on the ground. Oh, thank you. Whew. That's a lot of them. I reached the edge of this enormous Badlands biome. But still, I had a lot more to harvest, as I only harvested the edges. One of my companion allays have disappeared. Sadly, I couldn't find him anywhere. The next day, the other one disappeared as well. Probably they got bored collecting dead bushes. To be honest, not gonna blame them. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that's one of the tallest cactuses that I have ever seen, probably. Guys, look at this, the sun is going up and it's currently day 99. Ah, there it is, it's day 100 now. Actually, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest, because I actually collected about, I think that it was 6 stacks of iron, and currently I'm left with 1.5 stacks. That's a bit suspicious, to be honest, and I thought that we would be running much lower on iron, but let's see. Statistics, items, 92,000. Well, it was quite close, but it's definitely doable. 7,000 short.